Rwenzori sub-region in Uganda is an area prone to armed conflict with a long history of brutal ADF rebellion. The insecurity along Uganda's western border, particularly in Rwenzori sub-region area, remain the main focus for Uganda People's Defense Forces and the joint security teams. This is due to persistent threat posed by Allied Democratic Forces ADF rebels. Allied Democratic Forces ADF rebel group has been committing terror attacks on innocent civilians in Rwenzori sub-region and the borderline between Uganda and Democratic Republic of Congo. The ADF rebel group began its terrorism attacks around 1996, declared allegiance to Islamic State in 2017 and began terrorism activities.
Yes, we had ADF from 1996 when they launched an attack in Semliki Valley. They were almost annihilated. About 17 or so survived and ran back to Congo.
The first wave of the down attacks on Uganda's soil was on Wednesday 13th November 1996, where they overran Mponde custom border point. 2 years later, in 1998, ADF raided Kichwamba Technical College in Kabarore district, killing 80 students.
He did get finances from international terrorist organizations, and so this gave life again to the ADF. Terrorism simply changes form. You may defeat the terrorists here. Once they have space for recruitment, then they rejuvenate.
On the night of Friday, 16th June 2023, ADF attacked Rubiria Senior Secondary School in Nyabuganda Parish, Karambi Sub-County in Kasese District, and killed 37 students, abducted 6, and injured 8 students. Security teams headed by 301 Brigade under the command of Colonel Jet Tuliabe pursued rebels in the jungles to rescue the abducted students.
The recent attack on our innocent children in one of our schools in Pondwe, Bwera, the UPDF together with the FRDC have put a lot of emphasis trying to follow those thugs. We have killed a lot of them. We have recovered so many children, women and men.
Over 2 decades, UPDF has been conducting operations in Rwenzori sub-region, battling the ADF until the initiation of Operation Suja in 2021.
Uganda and Congo, especially within the frontiers, are citizenry that share the same ethnicity. You'll find that the Bakonzo from the Rwenzoris are related to the Nandi, who are on the side of the Rwenzoris on the DRC. And these are one people. Once any situation of ADF or any rebel attack manifests itself into these communities, then it affects the opposite community too.
On 16th November 2021, 3 suicide bombers detonated themselves in 2 locations in Kampala suburbs, killing at least 4 civilians and wounding more than 30 civilians.
We knew sooner they would cross over. And still you saw when they exploded bombs on Parliament Avenue and at CPS. And then the bomb maker we found in Luwero. So we knew the command and the control was in DRC.
Every time there's a disturbance from the Ugandan side, it also affects the people of Congo because one, they do business together. They share relations, they share ethnicity. So it's something that we think impacts a lot on these people.
This is Mohize Olivier, 13 years, Jakiso Patrick, 12 years, and Safari Jeremy, 14 years, among those trained and indoctrinated into the ADF rebel ranks in ignorance of the consequences.
Anatufanyisha mafunzo ya kutega ambush na kupatia mtu aseme sira. Wanawaambia aseme mnajifunza kutega ambush.
The war affected these young boys and girls and suffered extensive form of exploitation and abuse.
These younger people require education. These younger people require medical facilities. And at the same time, reintegration becomes a challenge because the ADF and the human trafficking is still alive and well in the country.
The Allied Democratic Forces ADF rebels crossed the border into eastern Congo after being uprooted from Kasese, Bundibujo, Ntoroko districts by Uganda People's Defense Forces Army.
Now when they were dealt with, because some were arrested, others ran away and hid in Buseruka, in the Rift Valley. It's after they had gained capacity that they moved out of Buseruka. We flushed them out of Buseruka. They went into DRC now fully. And then from DRC, 1996, they attacked Kasese. So it's been growing over time.
Reorganized in the jungles of eastern DRC, Allied Democratic Forces ADF rebels began counter-terror attacks on innocent civilians in Kasese, Bondibujo, Kamwenge, and in Toroko, utilizing the porous border point.
Adui alikuwa anatusumbua sana, tulikimbiaka tunafika Nobili, tunatoka hayo tena tunafika hapa.
Vita vikali sana, sole ya kona na tunalala ovyo kupori.
A memorandum of understanding to cooperate on intelligence sharing and fighting terrorism was signed in November 2021 by the two governments of Uganda and DRC to flush out ADF from their hideouts.
Between the two heads of state, President Yoweri Museveni and President Tshisekedi Felix, which happened way back in 2021. And once the memorandum of understanding, which also included the joint operation with other requirements of military activities between the two countries, the two militaries, eventually the MOU on a joint operation was effected, and the operation began way back on the 31st of November 2021.
But it was until November 28th, 2021, following the suicide bombing in Kampala, that His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of Uganda, and his counterpart, Congolese President, His Excellency Felix Tshisekedi, authorized the armed forces to cross to Ituri and North Kivu provinces in eastern DRC to strike heavy bombardments on the rebel camps.
Rais wawili, Rais Tshisekedi, rais wetu wa DRC, na Rais Museveni wa Uganda, ambao wamekubaliana kusema watie nguvu pamoja kwa lengo la kuona namna gani wanaweza wakapigana na ADF. Na ndio maana wananchi wametutuma tuombe hizi operesheni zisonge mbele mpaka wahakikishe ya kuwa ADF ameisha katika eneo zote ambamo alikuwa akaua watu.
Cross-border operations began with airstrikes on several rebel positions in Congo's North Kivu and Ituri.
Remember, the UPDF is strictly concerned with the ADF, and that's the MOU, and that's our mandate.
Significant joint military operations by UPDF and Congolese Fadaka Army did a tremendous impact on the ADF rebels since then. According to the Terrorism Combat Center data 2021, ADF is responsible for 1,275 civilian deaths in Uganda and Eastern DRC, 3 times the death toll of 2019, and more than 50% increase by 782 deaths in 2020. The Rwenzori sub-region remained the only ADF rebel main focus because of the porous border points with DRC, which enabled the rebels to cross into Uganda and cause mayhem. The government of Uganda is promoting a culture of peace and non-violence through civil-military cooperation for peace and conflict prevention.
Kwa kwanza nasema vraiment merci sana kwanza kwa jeshi yetu UPDF na FRDC kwa kazi ambayo tunatufanyizia, vraiment tunafurahi sana.
Presidential Initiative on Peace, Security and Development Reception Center for Allied Democratic Forces ADF returnees in Kasese district is overwhelmed by the number of returnees. The initiative started in 2022 in Rwenzori sub-region area to find a lasting solution to armed conflicts by encouraging rebels to denounce their activities in exchange for amnesty. Bridgeway Foundation and Uganda People's Defense Forces provide psychosocial healing process support to assist the healing process of these former ADF captives.
Foundation does a lot of rehabilitation for people that have been caught up in armed conflict. So their families, those have been fighters, formers, they're handed over. We work closely with the government of Uganda and Amnesty Commission, and they hand them over for us to spend a program with us of 3 months.
The Bridgeway Foundation is another foundation that really comes in as a stakeholder in terms of trying to assist to give a hand into the efforts of the militaries, both the Congolese and the UPDF.
Once skilled and rehabilitated, the victims are given financial support as capital and reunited with their families.
We save these children, these wives, the children and these ladies from the bushes. We bring them up with us, so Bridgeway comes in handy to give assistance to these children, rehabilitate them, prepare them before they go back, counsel them to get out of that old thing that has always, haunted them in the bushes.
The government reconsiders establishing a fully-fledged reception and rehabilitation center in Rwenzori sub-region area to rehabilitate the returnees before they are reunited with their families. Uganda has remained the leading peace broker in the region, projecting its power as a force willing to stabilize South Sudan, Somalia, and Sudan, despite the risks undertakings associated with Haruna Desasira. UBC News.